What is going on, everybody? My name is Conor Lawler. Welcome back to another week of Movie Mondays and also a Patreon exclusive but not exclusive episode of the Heroes for Hire podcast. I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Mr. Seán. Me and Seán, how's it going?
I am very well, Conor. Welcome back to the Ireland.
I have been away. I also sound a bit croaky. You can tell I have not been at home recently for the last few days, so I'm coming back. I got to see Ant-Man today, and so what we decided to do was, as a bit of a treat, is that we are going to amalgamate this month's Patreon exclusive episode and a Movie Mondays episode into our Ant-Man Quantumania review. Now, with that, this means every single month we review a movie over on the Patreon. But this month, we're going to add them together. And what also will happen is the patrons will get exclusive listenership to this tonight. And then today is being Sunday. And then tomorrow, on Monday, everyone else will get exclusive access to it. It'll be no longer exclusive, Seán. It'll be public.
This is true. And then next month, it'll be regular episodes over here, and then on the I say over here, it's a double episode. The Patreon
I'm confused.
will have a bonus movie review, which I am making a push. For Paddy's Day, St. Patrick's Day, we should do Banshees of Inisherin, is just what I'm pitching.
But
here.
it would just be an hour of us going, that's class. That's amazing.
It'd be great, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be great to be positive about
We would
things?
just get the boast for a whole hour.
Because that could be post-Oscars as well, so it could be great for us.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, as I said, this is a bit of a double episode. I've got my notes. I got back into the country, and the first thing I did was I watched Ant-Man Quantumania, because I've been gone since it got released. Seán, when did you see this movie?
I saw this movie yesterday at 10 to 3. And I went to the deluxe screen, Conor. So I had a big leather chair, had controls on it that I could put out my legs and such.
Jeez, the affluent South, where he's from, huh?
Look, what can I say, Conor?
That might make your review of the movie biased, because you're in such a comfy chair. I mean, you got such nice food, Seán. Maybe the movie's made better with the experience.
Well, I do want to say, Conor, I'm coming into this review very positive for once.
Interesting. I'm not.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'd like to hear what you have to say. So as I said, I only watched this like literally today, like maybe 2 hours ago. So I haven't even really processed it. I'm very interested, as you've had an extra 24 hours, what stood out to you, what didn't stand out to you. This is kind of a review of what we do for every movie. So for people who don't subscribe to the Patreon, this is every single month. So hopefully you like what you hear, and you'll head on over there. The link is down below. But Seán, let's get straight into it. Ant-Man Quantumania got released last week. Has already made $300 million as of today.
That's a lot of money.
On a budget of $200 million. Seán, first thought, opening thoughts, what are you thinking here?
Okay, so I will say, I had seen reviews and initial reactions and things from this because I saw it like a week after it came out. So I had heard a lot of this going around. And I full on made the decision when I walked into the cinema. I'm just not expecting anything from this movie. And I would say this is as good as any of the other Ant-Man movies, in my estimation. Which I think that's all I wanted, you know? That like I was perfectly happy. I had so much fun watching this movie.
I would say this is not as good as Ant-Man 1. I think Ant-Man 1 is very, very strong and knows exactly what it is. I felt with this movie, I probably didn't connect as much. Now, saying that, Jonathan Majors is... Seán, he is fucking amazing. He's so good.
Absolutely unreal. Like, as an actor. You can absolutely tell that man has been training for Creed, by the way.
The fight at the end. Also, we should say, spoilers. Straight out the gate.
Full spoilers from the start.
Full spoilers from the... If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But yeah, the fight at the end, when him and Paul Rudd are fighting, I was like, he's going to kill that man. Paul Rudd going to die.
But like, you see that, like... And, like... That fight goes on 5 minutes longer without anyone intervening. Ant-Man dies, like, is beaten to death in that scene.
In my head, it turns into the scene in The Dark Knight Returns, where Batman is just like, this isn't a battlefield, this is an operating table, and he just like starts going through all of the guy's limbs. Like, Kang just starts breaking his shoulders and then his legs, and then he's just a stump.
He would fully do that. I think this isn't a perfect film by any means. There are things about it that I don't like. There are character decisions that I don't like. A lot of the side characters in this are very, very, very forgettable.
Yeah.
However, I think the Scott and Cassie stuff works for me. I just want to call this out straight away. I love what they've done with Hank Pym. He's just a fucking weird old man who loves ants.
Literally, my two standouts were Jonathan Majors and Michael Douglas's weirdo Hank Pym.
Yeah.
And like, Hank Pym in the comic books is a bastard, right? We've covered that.
Absolute dog.
But in this movie, I genuinely laughed every time that man talked, because he's in on the joke that he's just a fucking weirdo who loves ants. And he's like, well, what about ants?
There's a bit, and he's like, no, I saved the world by travelling through time. And Hank Pym is just like, yeah, I would have used ants.
Like, everything he says made me laugh, because I was just like, he's just a weird man who just loves, he's got his niche, he's got his thing that he likes, and he just will only concentrate on ants.
Yeah, he's just a weird old lunatic. I love, like, I love the direction that they chose to take with that character, and I love how he just keeps hanging around. He gets a bit of a hero moment in this as well, where he like leads the ants into battle.
I was actually so pleased that they didn't have the moment where all the ants start coming in, and I was sitting there going, don't quip, because I 100% expected him to come in and say, well, they're clever ants, or they're intelligent ants, in terms of, that's like, he said that earlier on in the movie, like twice, about his fucking ants, and I thought they were going, 3 times the charm, he's going to come in and Kang is going to be like, what are these? And he's going to be like, well, they're intelligent ants.
Do you know what is that, like, there is a little bit of a quip, but I like it, is that he comes in and he's like, sorry I'm late, and Paul Rudd, which it feels like just Paul Rudd said it, is just like, Oh, is this you?
That's a really good joke. That's actually really funny. There is some really funny moments in this movie, and I think that works because, I mean, Paul Rudd is a very funny human being, as it is just in general. And I think a lot of the scenes with just comedy work in the Ant-Man world as well. I think they've always been very good at that since his very first appearance, through the Civil War. Like,
the tone of Ant-Man has been remarkably consistent across every film that he's been in, which is really refreshing. And I think that's maybe why I like it, is that it's a character I can latch onto and just be like, no, he does his own thing, and he solves problems in his own way. I would be remiss to say at the start, I saw this with my girlfriend Orla, and she got really excited at one part in the intro, which is where, you know, Scott's walking down the street and everyone's smiling at him and waving because he's Ant-Man. There's a guy who asks him to take a picture with his dog. That guy is Mark Oliver Everett from the band Eels. And that's cool enough, because Eels is a very cool band. But his dad, I think, did like some kind of multiverse theory.
What?
Wrote a paper on it, which is like, that's a cool nod.
You know what's great, right? There's no other podcast other than the Eels podcast that will cover this one thing, and you know what? I think it makes the movie.
And I didn't know, like, because I don't know the man to see him. I've seen him from a distance in a concert, but I thought it was a particularly famous dog. That was why she was getting excited.
You were like, is that Lassie?
Is that Airbud? Is Airbud back in?
Jeez, this girl's really into dogs, but that one particular famous dog.
So that's just one little by the by thing in the intro that I think no other podcast is going to talk about.
Absolutely nobody, and there's a reason why. But there you go. Maybe he came in as like a script advisor. Maybe he was like, "This is what we need to do."
Absolutely.
Another funny joke was actually, it came from Hank Pym again, was that guy looks like broccoli. That made me laugh. And And then the holes gag, I think, is actually amusing. It has early Korg vibes to it. At the end, by the way, I was like, Korg would have loved this. It's a revolution. He would have been all in.
Actually,
but yeah, the holes joke really works. Did you say David Ashmalian does the voice of him?
Yeah, what's his name? Vid or Z? I got his name somewhere.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
That's his name.
Veb.
Like those characters are nothing. Quaz is quite cool, played by William Jackson Harper, who is the mind reader telepath dude. He's the only one, and is it Zenora? They both get some character and things to do in the plot. The rest of them are just kind of cool designs.
Now we have to talk about the big head in the room, Sean. There's a man called Darren Cross, and he plays
fucking
MODOK.
Called this years ago, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
That is true. You are a genius. You couldn't have predicted his look. That's what I would say.
No. Now, okay, so the thing about it is, there's no fucking way to make MODOK work in live action.
But there has to be a better way than what they did.
That's the thing. My issues with MODOK aren't the fact that he's in it or the way that he's particularly written in this film. He serves a purpose. It's the design. They leaned too much to try and make it look like Darren Cross, Corey Stoll. They tried to retain too much of his face, and it just looks like they took an image and
they stretched the image on paint and then put it back in.
Which also, he's too human and not human. It's the uncanny valley thing that everyone's aware of. But it also means that he never focuses, the eyes never focus on anything. He just has this glassy, dead stare look straight ahead. And because it's stretched...
He looks like Zordon from Power Rangers.
He does look like Zordon, yeah. And the face, it looks like Zordon in Power Rangers Turbo, where there's no fucking movement in any of his facial features.
They didn't have the budget to animate him by Turbo. In the first one, they kind of did. They had 10 grand. By Turbo, there was no 10 grand budget to animate Zordon. So they were like, just a PNG. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And it's like, and do you know what? And I wasn't sold on it when I saw leaked shots of it. With the helmet down, it looks really cool.
Yeah. Now, look, I think you are being very forgiving, Sean. I think, personally, helmet down, I think excellent. I do actually think it kind of works. You can get away with it as a killing machine. Helmet off absolutely takes me over every single scene that lad is in. I'm just like, that is so terrible to look at. How did that get into a $200 million movie? And somebody didn't say, surely we have an extra $5 million to spend on Darren Cross's face.
That's fair. Now look, he's in a lot of the marketing. He's not in the movie all that much.
He's in it enough. He's in it enough with the fucking helmet down.
Okay, but you can't tell me you didn't enjoy his death scene. That was funny.
The death scene is funny, but then you just literally have to take yourself out of that. He looks terrible. He looks truly terrible. I agree. I fully agree. They did not go far enough with the MODOK design. They should have made him all fucked up and weird looking inside the helmet instead of just his face. Because the face also looks really low res that they've stretched over everything. It doesn't make any sense. They took one that wasn't even full HD and they took one off his Facebook page where he's kind of in the distance and they just stretched it.
I would have been happy if they fuck him up, scar him up, burn him, whatever, to make it work. It's a bad design, but I don't think the character necessarily is a major flaw in the movie. I get it takes you out. That's totally fair. It absolutely does. But I just feel that there's the elements that work of the character are still there.
I can see, in terms of his death scene, I think actually really does work. I just kind of roll my eyes a lot whenever he's on screen of just oh Jesus, when he's just being evil for the sake of being evil. I think you just do that. but then that takes away the gag. But yeah, I was going to say, like, you don't have it be Darren Cross, but then who do you have it be?
You get fucking George Tarleton that there was in the comics, who, by the way, MODOK has just been silly for age. Like,
yeah.
he put his body into a surfer bro and called himself Brodock for a while. Like,
see, that's the thing, right? When I'm watching a movie like this, I'm like, oh, this isn't for me. But there's loads of comics that aren't for me, that are just silly. And then some of them I do like, so...
And, like, the thing about it is that, like, and I talked about this in Doctor Strange, is that it's finding the line between the comic accuracy and what is entertaining to watch in a film. And this movie, of the recent Marvel movies, has gotten the closest, because they're dealing with wild fucking concepts. But this one didn't fall apart and feel like a waste of my time like Thor Love and Thunder did.
Now, here's the thing, though. What I would say is it feels like it's going to fall apart at any given moment.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
and maybe that's it. It's like it's the tower of playing cards, and I'm in a wind factory. Like, it's cool.
And I think it did fall apart for me a little bit, but not because. I think Jonathan Majors kind of holds it together. Like, he literally uses his strongman arms and he just basically like grabs both sides and is just like Spider-Man holding the ship together. He's like, no. I'm going to carry us to a good movie here.
I do get that. On that point, the first maybe 40 minutes of this, there's a lot of cutting back between the two groups, which is Scott Lang and Cassie and Janet, Hank and Hope. Yeah. And every time it cut back to Janet, Hank and Hope in a weird casino talking to a fucking Bill Murray pastiche, I'm like, I just want to get back and see what Kang is up to with the other two.
For the whole opening 45 minutes, I'm like, I just need to see Kang. And they're all talking about him, and I'm just like, no, we need to see him. I don't care enough about.
And actually, the start of this movie is Janet in the quantum realm when Kang first arrives.
Yes,
that shouldn't be in the first 30 seconds.
No.
Like, she should just be terrified of them activating the quantum realm, and it be explained later.
We don't need to see him at all. Did you like? You know the way we have the big exposition dump of them on the ship, right, where she's like, this is Kang, and then she tells the whole story of like how he but that's before we see modern Kang. Would you have preferred them to be switched? Because I wanted the first time we see Kang to be Conqueror Kang, to be, I don't want to see him like, oh, he's kind of dying. I want him to walk into that room and Janet's like, oh fuck, and everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, there's an argument to be made for both. The idea of, because we've people talking about him first, then we learn where he came from, and then we see what he built. Because the reason that we see Kang at full power after we've seen his whole origin is that we've seen how Janet could have defeated him at the start. And then he overcame that and made an empire out of it. I think that's why they wanted to show us everything they went through. And also, once they get to like the multiversal engine core thing, there's never a time after that where they could actually insert that exposition.
No, I can understand. But then I do have a major problem in terms of, like, I do think the whole middle part of this movie is not very strong. And I think the MacGuffin at the end that they have to get to get this. I don't really like all that bit where he has to like steal something to do whatever.
I like that. I'm really sorry, but I like that a lot. I like that he comes back to being a thief at the end.
I do like the fight between Ant-Man and Kang, just because I like to see Kang just ripping him apart. And then I also kind of like the ants being like zombies, like just swarming him. But then I have a question. So this guy is covered every single timeline in every single universe, and he's conquered basically all of them. And he's like, oh, I've never been defeated by anything ever. I've always figured out a way to solve. Surely there's a world that's just ants that are really intelligent that he overcame.
He might. There might be, and he might have overcame them, but he might have done it by destroying another universe 50 years back in the timeline, so it just never existed.
Interesting. Yeah, okay.
Because here's the thing about the multiverse, is that there are infinite universes where that version of Kang was defeated. But this is the one that's just done everything. He's just lucky enough to have done everything up until this point, and that's when we meet him.
So I have a
wild theory about this Kang, by the way.
Okay, go on. But I first of all, I wanted to comment on the world, the movie itself, and how it looks in terms of the sets. Obviously, none of them are real, so I don't really want to harp on that. Like, everything's CGI, but I think it's very similar to. Do you remember in Doctor Strange when my complaint was when, you know, the start when they're running through and you've got and he like throws Chavez through the fucking
like
portal,
falling apart and like swiveling around, and it just all this stuff.
I was watching this and I'm just like, I just want a movie where somebody can hold something, like pick up a prop.
That's
somewhere.
fair. There's a really interesting thread on Twitter going around at the minute that is the end of Captain America: The First Avenger. And it's where he wakes up in the like reconstruction of a 1940s hospital and he listens to the radio. And someone pointed out, like, when is the last time that a location has ever been a major plot point?
Never. A literal location. Like a location,
a physical location that the actors are in and like interact with.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what it is, but like, now when I watch this kind of stuff, I want to see some sort, like, it's all blurry and all in the fucking...
the Batman. It's because you watch the Batman.
And that's shot on the screen as well. But like, that's like, they built sets for that as well. Like, maybe it is because of the Batman, but I know that's on the Mandalorian stage thing as well.
What's it called? The volume.
Yeah, like I can understand that, like, in terms of like the views and everything, but there's something, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I just said the car chase scene, like in the Batman, like they shot that as like the camera's on the side of the fucking car and they're driving the car, right?
Yeah, and like what's like the arguably the best fight scene that's been in the MCU in Phase 4 was the bus fight in Shang-Chi, which was done on a real bus. Like
I genuinely don't know what it is. I can't actually put my finger on it, but when I watch any of these movies now, I just can't connect to whatever the fuck is on the screen. If in the background there's just floating shit and it's all purple and it's all kind of out of focus and kind of in the distance and they're just talking, and I don't even know if like the movie could be good, but me personally, I'm watching it being like, I just want somebody in the background that's a human that's like walking and I know they're there. I know they're real.
No, I do get where you're coming from. The argument I would make is that I think that this world that they created actually has some interesting elements. Like the fact that the buildings are sentient and alive and can also attack. That's really cool to me, that kind of thing. Where, they didn't have to do that, you know? But there was some level of care and thought put into it.
See, I'm also aware that I sound like an old curmudgeon that's just like, bring back Winter Soldier, where everyone's just punching each other. But everyone's like, Winter Soldier's fight scenes, real good.
That's true. Like, it's tough, and it is just the way they're made now. But like,
when I'm watching a scene and I know that Paul Rudd could act out that whole scene without Cassie Lang, who's played by Catherine Newton, I think it is, or is it Katie O'Brien? No, it might be. Is it Catherine Newton? Yeah, okay. And so I when I know like Paul Rudd is there and he could act out that whole scene without her being there, I'm just like, oh, that's annoying. I want them to talk to each other so much. But then you could say like the same about the airport scene in Civil War, where like they're not all there as well. So
or
I don't know what it is.
Avengers Endgame. Like
I literally don't know what it could literally just be the Batman. That it's just, I think that might have been a changer, that like we always just assumed, well, superhero movies have to be made this way. And then the Batman was like, well, no, we can do this way and it would look pretty cool. And then I was kind of like, actually, yes, that does look good.
It does, but yeah, and there are instances
but
where
I'm also aware that there are negatives to that as well. Like, you can build a much bigger world. You can't go to the quantum zone in doing it the other way. So if you want to go to the quantum zone, you have to do it this way.
It's really the only way to do it without it just looking like a stage or like a BBC Doctor Who TARDIS kind of thing.
There's subtleties. It's not just, you can't just be like, it's all shit or it's all good. There's always got to be intrinsic details that some bits are good, some bits are bad.
Yeah. And how do you feel about actually, my wild Kang theory, right?
Go for it. Okay, this is the Kang theory segment of the show. Yeah, go on, Sean.
Here we go. I don't think I'm the first person to think of this either, but...
Yeah. No, you are.
Kang gets sucked into the multiversal engine thing, right? He gets sucked into that at the end. Now, there is a thing in Secret Wars where... There's a being called the Beyonder, and the Beyonder is the one who assembles the first battle world in order to make all the heroes fight, and then Doctor Doom tries to steal the Beyonder power and things like that. I think they could do something similar and make that version of Kang the Conqueror into the Beyonder, because he's now outside of all multiverses and all realities.
Oh, okay. But also we have to talk about the end credit scene as well.
Yes.
Both of them. Well, both of them. But the first one with all of the Kangs, what do you think that means in terms of moving forward?
So that's probably the Kang dynasty is what's being set up there. Basically, it's all it's all of the Kangs gathering together because the Avengers, by going back in time and making... So, it's a weird chain of events.
They fucked the timeline.
They fucked the timeline, but specifically, they let Loki get free. Loki then got captured by the TVA, met up with Sylvie. Sylvie killed Kang, who was He Who Remains, who had shut out all of the other Kangs and was managing the time stream and keeping that time stream safe.
Yeah.
He's now dead. All of the other Kangs are going to launch an attack on the world. Probably they're going to start the incursions, which is where universes smash together. And both or one are destroyed. And that's what the Kangs will do. Because most of the Kangs just want power and control. One of the Kangs that we see there is Rama Tut, who is a Kang that went back to Egypt and became a pharaoh and then ruled. And then there's another one called Immortus, who went back, is the same Kang, went back after and was a better pharaoh who actually cared for his people. So the Kang is all one man who goes back in time every time he gets to the end and just does different shit.
And just like fucks around and finds out.
Exactly, but he's just happened constantly, and so they all meet up. And there's also the Scarlet Centurion, and he fights the Avengers in a weird Battle World type scenario that the Grandmaster pulls off. But also, that's how we get the AC universe, which is a spin on the DC universe, and you get like various, like you get Nighthawk instead of Batman and shit like that. I don't think any of that's going to happen, but he's in there.
None of that is going to happen. But also, this is comic books. The comic books are fucking weird, right?
Yeah.
This is, and to do this in movie form, it's a fucking lot. It's a lot to take in. It can be done, and I think Jonathan Majors is the perfect casting for all of these Kangs, just because 100%. He's so good.
Also, when all of the Kangs start showing up, they use the same teleport technology that Reed Richards uses in Multiverse of Madness, implying that he is a descendant of Reed Richards, as is in the comics.
Oh, okay.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah, he's just putting it out. And that Reed Richards is spaghetti. So that's how you know. But yeah, that's how they're going to bring all the multiverse shit in together. All the timelines are fucking... I hadn't even thought of that the timeline only, like, all those Kangs only exist because the main Kang was killed. The main Kang was killed because Loki survived because the Avengers went back in time to resurrect everyone who was gone during the blip.
Yeah. In order to win or defeat Thanos, they ended up basically bringing all of these Kangs upon themselves. Which, I like that, like, Ant-Man kind of has that thought at the end. He said someone worse was coming. It'll probably be fine.
It'll be grand. What can you do?
It's like, it maybe just inform some of the Avengers about that.
But I love the bit where Kang was like, I've killed, like, all of the Avengers, like, and it's made as a gag of, like, when he's like, oh, are you the one with the hammer? It's like, oh yeah, we similar body types or whatever. But I love the idea that Kang's like, I literally couldn't give a shit. I've killed so many Avengers and you're literally Ant-Man. Like, I don't care.
It is a cool at the end where he goes Giant Man and he just assaults the city. It's quite Rise of Skywalker, where all of the ships and all of the ragtag troop show up at the end just in time.
And that movie was so beloved, so I was in
by all.
By all. And so that's a really good way to end all of these movies, of the ragtag group come together.
But I did like it, is the thing. I liked it in this case.
I just think you've gone mad.
Maybe I have. No, I just want to look. It's not the best movie, but it was fun.
No, but actually, there's a good point of, like, I'm not like, this movie shit. I'm just like, I don't think I'll ever watch this again. But I'm also like, I love Jonathan Majors. I might watch Jonathan Majors scenes in this movie on YouTube if somebody wants to throw that all together.
Probably a good.
The rest of it I can kind of give or take.
Well, best of Hank Pym. That 5-minute video. Oh, yeah.
I just want the minute-long video of him just suggesting ads for all. Like, you know the gag where it's like, you always want to just do torture. It's just that, but for Hank Pym's ants.
Look, he really found a niche, and he's thriving, Conor.
Like, I actually think they have great chemistry between, like, say, the five of them.
Yeah.
I do think Evangeline Lilly is kind of, I get the vibe that she, like, is just checked out of this. I don't know what it was in this movie. I was like, she was just like, all right, I'll just do the movie. It's fine.
This is the thing. It's like, it is called Ant-Man and the Wasp, but this is just an Ant-Man movie, really. I like the bit that they have. I'm fully convinced, by the way, there's a version of this movie where he's stuck in the quantum realm.
I think that's a better ending.
I thought that was what it was leading up to.
I had the note. I was making my notes and I was like, oh, he gets stuck. Like, him and Hope get stuck in the quantum realm. And
then, that would be it. And then, like, maybe Secret Wars.
And then Cassie has to get them out.
Yeah, because she and I guess she does it in this movie, but, like, I don't know. It felt like they were building up to just one or both of them being stuck in the quantum realm.
Can I be honest with you? I think it's a cheap out. I really do. Like, I just think it's like they wanted the emotional big impact. Like, oh, they're lost, and then Cassie's just like, oh no, wait, I have a button. It's fine. Oh no, there you go. It's opened again.
They set it up earlier. It's like, oh, if I had this, I could have gotten you out of the quantum realm. It's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't know. It feels like there was more there. They clearly decided, like, maybe another project was in the works and they were like, no, we need Ant-Man for
but
this.
But then why have the ending? Why have why have the two of them stuck there with the portal disappears? Like,
I guess it was just, this is the only way to do it. Like,
it's just a fucking cheap pop. I don't understand it. Either shit or get off the pot, to be honest with you. Like, I just think they're either stuck there or they're not. Either they jump through at the last second, Indiana Jones style, grab their hat just before the door closes, or they're stuck there. It's one of the two.
Or what you do is you and this would be a pretty nice parallel, is that the door closes, right? They're stuck in there. Cassie, for her, it's 30 seconds, opens up a new portal, goes back in. It's been 5 years in the quantum realm, and they've both lost 5 years of each other.
Yeah, like, I think Or, like, you do the thing where we know Young Avengers is coming along, right? We know Cassie's going to be
but apparently there's no plans on that. Like, there's not.
Okay, maybe there isn't. I mean, so why would you? You only have Florence Pugh locked in. So why would you want to do so with that? But, like, if you were going to do a Young Avengers, Cassie's part of that. The next time we see her, her and Hank are trying to rebuild that thing that was broken, like her signal thing. Like, there's been spending months and months and months on it, trying to rebuild it, because it was broken when Kang brought them all in at the very start of the movie. And, like, she's trying to rejig it. She finally gets it working. At the end of the TV show, you could have her whole character arc is, like, I'm part of this Young Avengers, but, like, my dad and Hope are gone, and I need to do this for them. Like, I'm kind of representing them because they're not here anymore. And then she finally gets it working. Her last scene could literally just be her clicking the on button and her going, it works, and then them just jumping through a portal. That's the end.
This is the thing, is that Cassie Lang in the comics does have a whole arc. She becomes a hero without Ant-Man, because Ant-Man is killed, unfortunately, until she opens a portal and saves him.
I mean, that's in my head. I'm just thinking of your Hero Zero report. Just do that, and you can still have it. Like, for him it was 5 years, but for us it was like 2 months.
Yeah, like, they need Ant-Man for an upcoming project. That has to be, you know, why he was brought back. And it was too late in the day that this was decided to refilm the entire ending sequence. It's easier to just refilm that bit where he's picking up the cake and going to the restaurant.
Yeah, I was like, in terms of the ending, I was like, oh no, they should have been stuck there. I hope should have dove through, save them, they defeat Kang, and then they're stuck there. I just said, if it's 5 years for them and 30 seconds for us, that's fine. I don't care. Like, you could even have Cassie, and we could cut to Cassie with Hank and Janet. She gets it working straight away. They jump through, as you said, 5 years has passed, a year has passed. Some amount of time rather than 10 seconds. So that there's some sort of emotional impact to their battle with Kang.
Yeah, I mean, you get that Ant-Man would sacrifice himself for Cassie, but I don't think that was in question for the rest of the movie. If fucking MODOK had pushed Cassie through and sacrificed himself, that's a redemption thing. But, like, Ant-Man would do that anyway, you know.
Yeah. I wanted Hank Pym's ads to push her through. I want Hank Pym to have his own movie where he's just talking about ads.
I want Hank Pym to push her backwards and just walk through himself.
Yeah, he's like, get out of my fucking way.
Just as a full heel turn. Maybe.
And on the way out, a sly elbow to Janet on his way past to be like, I'm in here now.
Just trips her. Do you think, this might be a stretch, but why would you not get these people on screen at the same time? Do you think Ant-Man's going to be in Deadpool 3 and that's how they do some multiverse shenanigans?
No, I don't. No? I don't think he's going to be in it. I mean, look, I can absolutely understand you get Reynolds, Jackman and Rudd all on the same screen and just...
And Channing Tatum, I'm not backing down on that.
And him playing Gambit, of course. Yeah. But, I mean, you absolutely could, but... I don't think Rudd is down to appear in any of that stuff, really, for the next few years. I think his next appearance is the Kang Dynasty, or Secret Wars, whichever one of them comes first.
Kang Dynasty is first and then Secret Wars, yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's weird that they did that, because Secret Wars, I would say, that's the Skrulls.
No, Secret Invasion is the Skrulls.
Ah, sorry.
That's the TV series that's coming out at some point, who knows.
Yeah, I mixed them up. I heard 2 secrets.
2 secrets. This is the thing. Wait until the Secret Avengers and things like that happen.
What did you think of Bill Murray as Kryler?
I don't like Bill Murray as an actor.
You've turned on him.
I've been off him for ages. I don't like the thing. I just don't like how he behaves. I just think, get over yourself. Now,
I see. Now this is tough for me because Groundhog Day is one of my favourite movies. But also when you hear behind the scenes, and also just in general, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Like the walking into a bar and just pouring people drink. Get over it. Go fuck yourself. But look, the character is fine. There was I fully feel that Bill Murray has a clause written into most of his contracts that he has to die on screen so that he can't ever be brought back.
Good. He's like that. If Harrison Ford could add that same clause, he would be fucking delighted. He'd be delighted with himself. Never make me come back, he'd say. Just
goes around axing all of his old characters. The president from Air Force One. Nah, get rid of him.
We should talk about how they get there. I feel is kind of a bit meh in terms of they're just like, oh, I built this machine. All right, cool. Oh no, it's working straight away.
I mean,
how do you get them there? Is the thing.
They've the first portal into the quantum realm was in the back of a van.
That's true. That is true, actually.
Like, it appears that it's not hard to do. It's just that like 6 people can do it. You know. So I have no problem with that being, a mystery or not mystery or.
What did you think of all of the possibilities of like Ant-Man and Hope?
I like that. I would have liked to see more variants of them. Like the Ant-Man that stayed as Baskin-Robbins. That's a nice, fun idea. But like, what about the Ant-Man that's... And this is too much. This is comic book shit that you have time for in a comic book. But like the Ant-Man that sided with Tony Stark. Or, the Ant-Man that became Yellow Jacket. Any of that kind of stuff.
But I have a question, and this confused me. I thought it was all of the possibilities that he could have done in that scenario. In terms of the robbery of the of the heist. It's
every possible version of him that could be there is how I interpreted it.
Right, because I was just like, why is the Baskin-Robbins guy, it's obviously the joke, but I was trying to figure out why he was there, because I was like, but wait, I thought it was for the heist. Why would the Baskin-Robbins guy be here?
Well, maybe instead of going back, having a successful book deal and becoming a celebrity, maybe in another version, he went back to Baskin-Robbins because he couldn't get any work.
I do love, obviously, a lot of the teams are based around family. That's why they split them up. So Cassie and Scott get sent one way, and then Hank, Janet, and Hope get sent the other side. What did you think of Janet's relationship with Kang? I really felt like they should have done more with that. They did a little bit, but I thought they didn't have that many scenes together.
No, it felt like it felt like there was some stuff cut from that. Like when they're just in the throne room and Janet keeps eyeing like the gun for that happens repeatedly, but there's just not that much said. And it's the thing of like it was never brought up in either of the two movies, so Janet just decided not to tell anyone up until this point. She thought it was all fine. I don't know. I would have liked to have. I like the bit where they're working together to fix the engine. I think that's a good scene. Cool, and it's showing the strengths of both of them. And even like the way she talks about Kang in those early days is quite like, no, he's brilliant. Like he's like no one else that I've ever met, kind of a deal. But then, and I like the way she traps him. I think she, like, that says a lot about her character in that moment. But then after that, I just the way Janet is written and what she does is just she's just an exposition device to get from A to B for the rest of the film.
I wanted more. I wanted more between the two of them. Yeah. What I really loved, the scenes that I really loved were Kang knowing, so he plays on everyone's weaknesses, and so she, in the moment, like when she thought they were friends, is like, I really want to get home to my daughter, she's waiting by the door, and so every time he talks to her, that's what he says, like, if you help me, I'll get you home to your daughter, she'll be waiting, but you'll have lost no time at all. Time means nothing to me. Like, I'll help you. And he's like, I'll save your world. I'll just have to kill everyone else's world. But it's, you gotta get home to your daughter, don't you? Like, it's all emotional manipulation constantly of people's weaknesses.
Yeah, and the fact that he lies as well. Like, there's, like, the anger that Ant-Man has in the final fight where he just shouts, "We had a deal." It's
Yeah.
like, if you had just kept to your side of the fucking bargain, Ant-Man would have happily gone home. Like,
Because he doesn't want no trouble. He's
No.
like, you're a bad guy.
this isn't his fight. Like,
I like the idea of Paul Rudd's Ant-Man. Like, he's in a bit of retirement, and he kind of has to get dragged out. I feel like he is a bit dumb in some of this. I think he's dumber than he needs to be when he's just like, we should get out of here, Cassie. And Cassie's like, but Kang is going to kill everyone, like, ever. Like, he's going to kill all these people. I think there should be a part of him that's like, yeah, maybe I should suit up even 3 minutes before I actually do.
if he even put in the argument of like, okay, I understand, but shouldn't we get the team of Avengers that I have intimate connections to? Wouldn't they be useful here?
But then all she has to say, but you're the only one here. You are literally an Avenger. Like, and he's still kind of trying to chicken over until they have to have that big suit up moment where it's like, Cassie, you have a suit as well. I didn't know. Oh yes, Hank and Janet have been training me. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, look, it's no worse than most other.
Oh no, I mean, they have to introduce her in, and I think it's I know that I think that character is going to be really good moving forward, so I had no issue with that. I was just like watching Ant-Man, Paul Rudd, being like, just suit up, you moron. Just like, why is this a problem? You're stuck in the quantum zone.
But he is, like, I like how he is capable. Like, he's giving Cassie lessons on the fly about how to fight using the Pym particles. Like, that kind of stuff I really like.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love the bit with the click and then, like, click, kick, or click, hit. What's the exact tactic? I can't really remember.
Oh, it's click, tap, or something like that.
It's click, yeah. So it's basically like her working on how she structures her fight so that you get the best out of it. Because I think doesn't she shrink and then she just bounces off the guy's screen. Actually, I have a major problem, right?
Go for it.
Kang, right? Very intelligent, greatest. This is the best Kang. This is the best ever Kang. He designs the best armies to stop all rebellions. So this is the worst group of fucking, like, Clone Wars army that's ever been. They lose every battle so badly.
They're very incompetent. They do all fall to there's one on either side of someone escorting them down a hallway, and one of them gets a swift elbow to the dick. Like, that move is used maybe 3 or 4 times in the film.
I was watching it, I was like, Kang's meant to literally be the best one. Like, surely he's come up with better guards than these people.
But I guess in, like, he's put down enough rebellions that, like, he just knows, like, no, just it's a show of force. They don't need to be that good. It's just he just needs a lot of them.
But I suppose if they're too good, then they don't have a hope. Like, there's literally no issue whatsoever. I have another idea. I think, Sean,
yeah.
Janet, when they come in, her and Hank and Hope, she has that moment where, like, she stabs the weird monster, and then it's like, oh, you're one of us, and it takes her to the fucking restaurant. What's the point of any of that scene when we know the resistance is not them? The resistance is actually the people that Scott is with. So who the fuck are those people that she's talking to?
It's a way of giving her, of expositing how long she spent in the quantum realm and what she got up to and how she was fighting Kang for ages.
But you are doing gymnastics, my boy.
Look, I'm doing my best here. No, I don't love that stuff, but it's like... And that's again why I'm like, okay, can we get back to... I just saw Ant-Man getting tortured in a cell. I would like to see the conclusion of that, please.
I want to see Jonathan Majors chewing scenery and telling us all how fucking amazing he is. And, like, but in a way that's like he's just looking down at these peasants. Like, they're all peasants to him. They don't mean anything.
Yeah, they're just ants, Connor. They're just ants.
And of course. But Hank's loving that. Like, yes, they are.
Yeah. What do you think of the design of Kang?
I think it's... I mean, I thought the suit was okay. The thing about that is, if you fuck it up once, it doesn't matter. You can just do it a million different ways. So, like, if you do this one badly, people are like, the reaction isn't great. You're not stuck to that. There's like billions of Kang. So he designs it differently in a different universe. You can rejig it to make it a little better.
That's fair. That is fair. No, I think it's a cool design. I like the helmet, how they adapted that, how it's like an energy thing that he wears. That's really fun to me.
I don't know why he doesn't come into the fight earlier at the end.
Yeah.
He's literally God.
Literally God. Literally has a gun that just wipes people out of existence.
It's the exact same. Like, he forgets all of his powers at the end.
He's just so angry
fight
at
scene.
the time, you know.
I go away. Like, for the whole movie, I was like, this guy, he kills everyone. Like, nobody has a hope. And every fight scene up to that point, he's just swatting them. He's like, you fuck off. I can literally pick you up and smash you against walls and like rip your bones without even like blinking. And then in the last fight scene, he's like, I can't even think straight. I'm just going to punch you so much.
In the last fight scene, they do the thing where they depower both characters. So Ant-Man loses his helmet so he can't shrink. And Kang loses his gauntlets, which apparently give him all of the blasty superpowers. So it's just two lads scrapping by the end. But one of them has been in training for Creed. So it's a walkover.
Paul Rudd
has been training for Creed.
I have another nitpick, Sean, that I really don't like, is that they keep taking off their fucking helmets every time they shrink and then they grow big, just because we have to see the actors. That really annoys me. Just keep wearing the suit. Just wear the fucking helmet. That's just wear the helmet. It reminds me of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. He always took off his fucking mask. Like, he took it off like 6 times in that first movie. And I'm like, you have a secret identity here.
Keep the mask on. Yeah, I have no defense for that one. Other than, like, if you're just looking at the helmet every scene, though, like.
But we didn't look at it once. There was that one scene where the helmet was on, because they were like,
well, we got in that movie.
But they're on it for like a second.
But anytime he's big, there's a load of helmets when they were all little ants.
Okay, big. I'll give you big, but any normal size, that helmet comes straight off, and we got to see Paul Rudd on the green screen.
Well, it's normal size Paul Rudd. What's not to love?
I mean, it's fantastic hair. I'm not doubting that. I'm just like, wear the fucking helmet, Paul.
I do like the bit where he was really, really small and Hope had him in her hand and she threw him and he grew really, really big while he was flying. I thought that was cool.
See, the thing about this is, right, I think they've kind of nailed the Ant-Man vibe, and I think they know what they have with Ant-Man, and so, especially, like, we went back and watched the first Ant-Man for, I think it was last month? Was it last month's Lazarus Pit? So we actually have done 2 Ant-Mans in a row, but like, I think they know what they have, which is a very strong point. Peyton Reed knows how to direct an Ant-Man movie. I am slightly disappointed that this is the one we see Kang in, but I also understand that they can do whatever the fuck they want because it's the quantum zone. And there's only 3 people that can get there, so you had to introduce him in the Ant-Man. So then he could have the whole big universe and be like, this is what he can create in the quantum zone. Imagine what he'll do when he goes bigger.
Yeah, and I don't think it being an Ant-Man movie lessens the impact of Kang. I think he's still intimidating. It might lessen the amount of people that go to see it, but I still think Kang, like, it doesn't lessen Kang as a villain going forward.
I actually, it might help him because Ant-Man is so probably low down in terms of the team that, like, he comes. There's no point in him facing Thor straight off the bat, because, like, Thor then has to beat him in the Thor movie, and then you're like, okay, well, what does Kang have to do? Like, if you can't defeat Thor. But I really liked the part where they were just like, I've killed loads of Avengers. Like, I have so many of them, I couldn't even name them. I've just, like, murdered all of them.
Yeah, like, that's really, really cool. And the idea that, like, Ant-Man would have basically lost had Hope not come back in and gotten a lucky shot and knocked him into a device that sent him outside of time and dimensions. Like, they don't have that again, and now there's infinite Kangs on the way. Now, I say infinite, they'll probably fight about 4 of them.
I always have the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness thing. They were like, we've got millions of universes. In this one, lights green when the means stop.
Yeah.
That's how fucked up we are.
You know Baron Mordo? Yeah, he's got dreadlocks now. What are you going to do about
No way. Everything else is the same.
Professor X, you like him, don't you? Oh, John Krasinski, you all called for
snap.
that. Fuck you. Like it. Enjoy it.
Spaghetti.
Piece of shit.
Spaghetti snap.
Sounds delicious.
Very good. Yeah, I mean, in terms of this movie, I didn't connect with it, and but I could also see that like it has strengths in terms of Kang obviously being the major one. Paul Rudd is always excellent as Ant-Man. The cast I don't think are an issue. Eventually Lily, I was like, oh yeah, she's there. I think Michelle Pfeiffer is really good in like really great in those scenes. Yeah, with what she was given, I wanted more. Like with that character, with like her and Kang and them like bonding. I wanted more of that because then the betrayal means more.
Yeah, and I would like more of the fallout from that, like how they talk to each other now. I would like to have seen some more of that going on.
Because she's like, I fought him for years. Yeah. But like, and then they meet each other like, oh, hello.
It's the Star Wars Episode 3 effect of like, oh, that sounds like a fun adventure that you went on.
This all sounds like really good, interesting stuff I'd like to see.
Look, who can say? But I think that, like, I think I just had a good time watching it. Also, it's a breeze of a film at 2 hours for a Marvel movie.
It's 1:53 actually.
Like, oh, beautiful. Have you seen the new Adam Driver thing? I think it's called like 67 or something. It's like 67 million years ago. He just fights dinosaurs with a gun, and it's 90 minutes long. It might be the perfect movie.
Well, actually, Sean, the perfect movie came out, Cocaine Bear, in cinemas now.
In cinemas now, go see it.
My favourite thing was it had 100% on Rotten Tomatoes after one critical review, and someone just said, stop the count. It's got 100, just leave it.
I think Phil Lord of Lord and Miller fame just tweeted, no, if we can get this to 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, the circle will be complete.
Cocaine Bear. How would you like to finish this? We didn't really go scene by scene. We've kind of stopped doing that, but as a general vibe, I would say it's better than Thor Love and Thunder, but a lot worse than Wakanda Forever.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think as I said, I think it's as good as the other Ant-Mans personally. Like, I just had a really... I think
Ant-Man 1 is better. Ant-Man 1 is my favourite one because of how little stakes there are, but how big the stakes seem to Ant-Man.
Fair. That's a fair statement. Also, there was a brief post-credit scene at the end where Loki and Mobius are watching Victor Timely give a presentation. Victor Timely, I believe, started the TVA, but I'm not sure. But it's just a little tease for Loki season 2. But yeah, overall, Conor, I would give this film 2 Weetabix, cream and strawberry. There we go.
That seems too nice.
It's very nice.
Is it better than Doctor Strange?
Oh, it's way better than Doctor Strange.
I think they're probably maybe. Yeah, no, I think it's a bit better, but
I think it's better.
Not by a lot. Probably not by as much as you. We'll go see Wakanda Forever. It's real good.
It's as good as Iron Man 3.
Wakanda Forever is better than... No, you mean this movie?
This movie, yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. I think so. I mean, it also has some silly moments of like her dying, falling to her pit, and then quips straight afterwards.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, probably
that was
the same
happening ages ago when we were fighting.
Ages ago, same thing, lad. Everyone go watch The Batman. It's real good.
Matt Reeves is The Batman.
Still the best superhero movie of the last 12 months. Pretty good.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
I think that's it for this. I'm going to say this month and this week's movie review.
For this time.
I suppose, unless people want us to review Cocaine Bear next month, but we normally review Lazarus Pit shows of like old movies, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. But yeah, I think that's kind of it. Unless you want to take us out, Sean.
Yeah, I'll take us out. Usually on the Patreon we don't read the names because it's a main episode as well. We're going to read the names. So, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Movie Mondays, whatever this is. We will be back on Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, Friday with Hero or Zero, and next Monday with another episode of Movie Mondays. And shout outs to you wonderful, wonderful patrons: Róisín the Wife Palmer, Joe Burney, Ryan, Komatsu, Dozer, Enthusiast, Evanson. Fun facts with Waffles: Aotearoa New Zealand has the highest sheep to person ratio on the planet, with roughly 10 sheep per person. David Clarke, Shaun Chuck in the washing, it'll be grand Jamieson. Dominic, Anna Irish Walrus Forever Hjelmroos, Danny McLaughlin, No One's Ever Really Gone Luke Hoth, Lordsmish, Michelle Browne, Michaela Doughty, Buster, Ed Ball, The Adventures of Indiana Jones and the Franchise That Just Won't Die. Lorraine and Conor have swapped the order of their names to purposefully bamboozle Seán. Russ, can you sort me an invite to the Barry Wins and Oscar drinks you'll be having? Mine's a Pepsi Max-Parfitt. Absolutely, invitation is on the way. And
I'm a Pepsi Max cherry man myself.
I can't do synthetic cherry flavour, Conor. It's the worst thing in the world.
Pepsi Max cherry is the future.
You've fucked it now. You've goosed it. Is what they used to do a Coca-Cola with lime in it. That was delicious.
Nah,
it's great. And thanks also to Jackson Bruheim. So, if you would like to join those fine people, head on over to patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. Link to that is in the description. There's also a merch store, heroesforhire.ie/shop. Twitter is @HeroesForHirePod. The 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Detective Divilment's discussion group. Instagram is Heroes for Hire podcast. And the best way to ever help out the show is to tell one human being that we exist.
Just a one, please.
I think that's about it, Conor.
I think so. So I've been Conor Lawler.
I've been Seán Meehan.
And we shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.